A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Fixed Wing Guy channel with me, Stuart Lomas. It is a partially lovely day here in Manchester on this Monday afternoon. Not too bad at all, very warm, very peaceful, very calm, no wind as such, and a variation of clouds, but at least it's not raining, which is always a good thing. What I want to talk about today is an idea that seems to escape humans full stop sometimes, which is open-mindedness. Now this has kind of been brought to the fore a little bit by Jeffrey McMahon's Become a Critical Thinker video, and by a comment made to me following my time travel video, basically saying that I was being put in the tin hat bin. So therefore, obviously, I'm an out-and-out loony who really shouldn't deserve somebody's time. My reply to that was, obviously, it's for that person to bear in mind it's far harder to be of an open mind than it is to be a skeptic. Something I have believed all my life and something I will continue to believe is the case. So how does this kind of apply to watch collecting and life in general? Well, I think kind of the two things intermingle, as it were. We are all aware that we are all, whether we want to admit it or not, snobs about something, and it doesn't matter what it is. But that snobbishness, to a certain extent, comes from that little blind spot out here somewhere, or maybe out here somewhere, that stops us from seeing and appreciating other things, perhaps. I recall for many, many years, I would not try red wine at all. Didn't like it, wouldn't have it, wouldn't let it pass my lips. Had I ever drunk it till that point? No. I just discovered white wine. I decided I quite like white wine. Thank you very much. That'll do for me for the rest of my life. Did it change? Yes. Solely on the basis that at one point in my life I had a friend who was French, and I know the English and the French we shouldn't get along, but we did, yeah. And he convinced me that French red was actually quite good. So one night whilst I was there having a meal, I tried a glass of this particular red wine that he could recommend, and lo and behold, I quite enjoyed it. And ever since then, I do have my favourite wines, both white and red, and I gain equal pleasure from drinking both. So there you go. In the watch world, of course, there are certain people in the watch world who, of course, will not see beyond the bounds of Rolex. Because why would you? You know, Rolex is the brand, the aspirational brand, the brand that's known worldwide for being the benchmark of quality and the signing of how successful your life has been. And anything beyond the boundaries of Rolex is indeed tosh and nonsense. Doesn't matter to me or anybody else if you own an Omega or whether you own anything else, whether it be a Tag Heuer or a Breitling or whatever. Rolex is the route to take. So I think this kind of thing is equivalent to my white wine thing. White wine was the route to take. Why would you want anything else once you bought yourself a decent £15 bottle of white, nicely chilled, of a Chardonnay or something like that? Why would you need anything else? Indeed, my palate is refined enough. Thank you very much indeed. So the open-mindedness aspect of it is something which is hard to acquire, I think. Sometimes it is a forced acquisition, maybe. And when I say forced, a little bit forced by yourself, and maybe forced a little bit by somebody who you hold their opinion in slightly high regard. Something can't be so bad if the person who you hold in high regard says it isn't quite so bad. So what I'm trying to say here is that we, as watch collectors, and watch nutcases in general, will have a far happier, more fulfilled existence if we put our belief that there could be, just could be, other things out there in the world that we can actually look at, spend our money on, maybe save a little bit of money on, and strap on our wrists. So it doesn't matter whether I'm talking to your dyed-in-the-wool Rolex fan, or dyed-in-the-wool Patek fan, or dyed-in-the-wool Breguet fan, or Omega fan, or Breitling fan, or Tag Heuer fan, Steinhardt fan. Doesn't matter. As long as you occasionally have a look to this side and have a look to this side, you may see other things that might be worthy of further investigation. And of course, you will only know whether they are actually worthy if you are willing to try them on and give them maybe a little bit of risk time to see whether they are actually worthy to you as a ex Rolex snob or ex Omega snob or whatever you are. And I think the key thing is any experience should be savoured, and it doesn't matter whether it's an experience that's nasty or an experience that's wonderful. A little bit like going on a roller coaster, perhaps. You can go on a roller coaster and discover right from day one that it's fantastic, it's the best thing I've ever done, I want to do it again. Or you go on a roller coaster and it's the most horrific experience you've ever had in your life. At least you said you've done it. You can say in conversation, yeah, done that, don't like it, don't want to go again. It's a little bit like the kids who say, I don't like sprouts. Have you ever had them? No, but I don't like sprouts. Same principle. And I think that the human species has, as a continual measure of who we are as a being, are very guilty of saying, no, I don't like it, or nothing is quite as good as this, or I can only drink this, or whatever it is, without actually opening ourselves up to that possibility. We can only assume that the people who will not open themselves up to this possibility went straight in at the top. They never experienced any of the gradients underneath. So if we are talking about watches, for instance, assumedly, somebody who only wears Rolex went straight in at the Submariner point. And if your first watch purchase was 18, let's say, you either A, stole it, B, worked in a job where you earned so much money at 18 it was ridiculous, or C, mummy and daddy were so rich that they bought you that as an expression of their wealth rather than their love for you. So I think what we're looking at here is a human trait, not a snobbish trait per se. It is just something we all do without realising it. Unfortunately, I think that some people expound the virtues of certain things far too much, and you can tell by the voracious nature of how they do that spouting of so-called information, that they have never been or will never be willing to open themselves up to new experiences, whether it be material things or just things which are just going to enrich your life just for the sake of enriching your life. As far as me being a tin hat wearer is concerned, I did make it clear my feelings to this particular person, and I think the upshot basically is there. I feel that I have a very interesting life solely because I open myself up to anything, generally, as long as it's not harmful. If I'm going to be hurt or damaged or anything like that, so never done drugs, for instance, as long as it's not going to harm me, then I'm fine with it. You know, yes, I know I fly light aircraft and I know they crash. You don't need to tell me. I know. It's my risk. It's my risk to take on. You should be able to appreciate anything that life throws your way. So an accusation that I've gone in the same bin as the tin hats is fine, but it does say more about the sayer rather than me. So I think the upshot here is open-mindedness in all things is a positive force in the universe, and if you practice open-mindedness where your watch collecting is concerned, you will find more benefits, more variation in style, cost, design, accuracy, and it will enable you to speak more candidly and more knowledgeably on different subjects than you would do normally. And maybe it will put you in a position where you don't speak down to people, because there are those in the watch collecting communities who are not there yet in their knowledge base. They are not there yet in their financial base. So they're very slow in the attaining of what certain people would call worthy timepieces. But these people you've got to give time and effort and regard to, because at least they're making the effort to work the way up the ladder of watch collecting. So that's it for this one. A little bit of a ramble, I'm aware. I wasn't too sure where that was going, but two bases covered, I think. It is always good, in my estimation, to be of an open mind. It's very easy to believe the nonsense that we are fed by so-called experts and governments about certain world happenings, for instance, and that opening up ourselves to new information, no matter what that information is, allows us to take it on board, look at it, disseminate it, and then disregard it at our will. So for now, that's it for this one. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I no doubt will get a lot of interesting comments regarding this, and I look forward to reading them and replying to all of them. So as always, bang them down below. Any questions, queries, suggestions for this kind of nonsense? If there's anything that you want me to put my mind towards and make one of these, by all means let me know. So that's it for now, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye.